Yeah, I remember they rolled it at like.
You're at the same time.
No, that was right before I remember like you know what I mean, like they were
Oh, really?
the worst possible like yeah, I think they like
Hello, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, good morning. Oh, we can do better than this. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. I'm Faisal Abdulwallah. I'm the Chazen Distinguished Chair in Art, and I'm also the Associate Dean for the Arts here at the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Education. I'd like to give a heartfelt welcome to all present here today and to the dozens of families and colleagues joining us through the live stream of this momentous event. I think there's a camera here somewhere. Oh, it's over there. Your presence adds to the joy of this day, a day of celebration for our graduates and all who have supported them through their journeys. Today, we come together to applaud the accomplishments of the many students across all degree programs in the School of Education. Each one of you has contributed to the rich tapestry of our academic community, and I'm genuinely honored to share in this celebration with you. It is an important day for everyone here. It is also important to acknowledge the space in which we gather right now on this campus. The University of Wisconsin-Madison occupies ancestral Ho-Chunk land, a place their nations called Dejop, since time immemorial. The Ho-Chunk were forced to cede this territory following decades of ethnic cleansing, where the state and federal government repeatedly, but unsuccessfully, sought to forcibly remove the Ho-Chunk from Wisconsin. This history of colonization informs our shared future of collaboration and innovation. Today, UW-Madison respects the inherent sovereignty of the Ho-Chunk Nation, along with the 11 other First Nations of Wisconsin. At the School of Education, we strive to draw lessons from the past to forge a brighter future, a future that all of you in this room are an integral part of. As an Associate Dean at the school, I witnessed firsthand the remarkable contributions and brilliance of our students, including many of you in this room. We are here to celebrate and congratulate you. Today is your day. Now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce someone whose leadership has been instrumental in shaping the excellence of the School of Education. Dean Diana Hess. Dean Hess holds the Karen A. Falk Distinguished Chair of Education and is a member of the National Academy of Education. Over her 8.5 years in this role, she has championed diverse programs and initiatives across the arts, health, and education, contributing to the school's continued success. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to our Dean, Dean Diana Hess.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I want to begin by saying congratulations to all of the graduates. And before we go any further, let's have all the graduates stand if you are able, and let's just give them one rousing round of applause. In addition to thanking and congratulating all the graduates, I want to acknowledge all of the faculty and staff and friends and family who are here. We all know how hard all of today's graduates worked to earn the degrees that we're celebrating today. But we also know that there was a lot of support involved in getting that work done. To all the families, I know you've received a lot of phone calls, perhaps more texts, a lot of messages along the way, seeking advice and seeking help, and you responded. To all the friends who've been in programs with the graduates, or friends who have come from perhaps where you went to high school, they deserve your thanks as well. So graduates, can you join me in thanking your family and friends? Now, graduates, you are the star of the show today, so I'm not going to talk for very long. Here's what I want to do. I have 3 tips for you and 3 hopes for you. Let me start with the hopes. My first hope is that today, as you're graduating, and you're thinking back over the time you've spent here, whether you were earning a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or a PhD, I hope you believe your time was well spent. I hope that even now, when some of you I know are still finishing up those final papers or studying for a few more final exams, that you look back on your time here as time that was engaging, that was interesting, and that at times, we hope, was also fun. I hope that you are different than you were when you started here. And I'm sure you are, because many of you I've interacted with over the years. And today, I just heard from one of our faculty members that she taught a student when he was a freshman here in a very small class called a freshman interest group class. And these are classes of just 20, and the faculty who teach these classes tend to stick with students for a long time. But usually that long time is showing up at their graduation when they get their bachelor's degree. But today, one of the people walking across the stage is earning his PhD, and guess who's here to celebrate with him? The person who taught him, Professor Erica Helverson, when he was a freshman on this campus. And quite interestingly enough, his advisor is also a Helverson, Professor Rich Helverson. They keep this education thing going in the family. I know that all of you have changed quite a bit as a consequence of your time here, but I also want to let you know that you have changed us. Anybody who's ever been a teacher knows that good teachers are constantly changing, they're constantly learning more things, and good organizations are as well. And I know that because of your time here, we are different and better than we would have been otherwise. And for that, I want to thank you. My third hope is that you feel well prepared for what's next. Now, some of you are going immediately into a very cool job. And some of you have decided you're going to continue immediately for another degree. Regardless of what you're doing, I hope you feel you are well prepared. And I hope that as you go on to whatever is next, you take what you learned here with you. So what are my tips? Well, here's my first one. Give with abandon and receive with joy. And I know you're all thinking, what does that mean? To give with abandon and to receive with joy. Well, to give with abandon means just this, that even though I know you have worked very, very hard, you have also been quite fortunate. You have earned a degree from a world-class university, you've been supported by phenomenal staff, and you've been taught by amazing faculty. And so I think it's extremely important for you to give what you have learned back. And that is going to look different depending on what you're doing. But all of you will have the opportunity and already have had the opportunity to give back. Give back might mean that when you're sitting next to somebody in the workforce and they don't understand something that you've learned, that you help teach them. So what does the other side of that mean? To receive with joy. I think sometimes when we're in school, we get so used to giving. We're giving because we are constantly producing new knowledge. We're giving in response to what we've been asked to do. And I think it's really important every day, but today especially, this special day for you, to receive with joy. To know that what you've accomplished is a big deal. And people are congratulating you because you've earned their congratulations. And I would receive it with joy and a huge smile. My second tip for you is be proud of your expertise. Doesn't mean that you should walk around the world as a know-it-all, but you've learned a lot and you should be very, very proud of what you've learned. But what we know is that learning causes learning. The most important thing you've learned is how to learn. And as you move forth into whatever you're doing, it's going to be really important to keep learning. I don't know anybody who feels really successful and happy in their lives who isn't continually learning new things. And so I encourage you to embrace the fact that you have learned how to learn and keep at that. And finally, I encourage you to create and embrace community wherever you go. You've done an exceptional job of that while here. As many of you know, we have this thing here at UW-Madison called the Wisconsin idea. And actually, it's not just our thing. It's a thing for all of the 13 campuses that are part of the universities of Wisconsin. And the Wisconsin idea means this. It means that we exist in order to serve the people of the state, the nation, the community, the world, quite broadly. That there is an intrinsic connection between what should happen at a major research university and what should be happening in the world. And it's extremely important to do that collaboratively. What we, I think, are experiencing in not just contemporary America, but around the world, are some of the most challenging problems that we have seen. I've been around for a while, and I can tell you that as I look out on what's going on in the world today, I see big challenges, and we know that big challenges will only be met with collaborative work, with community work. A single individual will make a huge difference, but a group of individuals working together will make an even bigger difference. And for that reason, I want to end today by talking just a bit about the relationship between education and democracy. I came to this university in 1999 as an assistant professor in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction, and I was studying how young people in middle and high schools, learn about politics and what relation that has to how they feel about participating in democracy. And I've continued that work ever since. What I have learned from that work is that it's more important now than ever for us not to turn our back on democracy, no matter how imperfect it is. So I urge you, whether you are going to be in the United States or in another nation, to fully embrace the political community. I encourage you to think about running for office. I encourage you to think about what it might look like to be really involved in the campaign of somebody else running for office. I encourage you to vote. But voting is just one way that we embrace and support democracy. There are lots of other ways. And one way is to make sure that when we have something to say about what's happening, that we say it. And one of the reasons why education matters so much is we learn the tools to really communicate our views, and why those views matter. So as we head into what may be one of the most interesting and clearly the most contentious elections that this country has seen in quite some time, I urge you to see that as part of your role. You have obligations as family members, as friends. You will have obligations to be wonderful in whatever job or to be wonderful in whatever new program you're going into. But I think we all have obligations to fully participate in the political community. You can tell I was a high school civics teacher. With that, I want to end by saying once again, congratulations to you all. And in just a moment, all of the graduates will be walking across the stage. It's such a proud moment, and I look so forward to shaking each one of your hands. Right now, it's my pleasure to introduce somebody to you who is going to be actually telling us about you and reading your names and our kind of general MC for the rest of the program. So Professor Adam Nelson is also the Senior Associate Dean for the School of Education. He is a world-famous historian, has just published 2 new books in the last month. You might have heard him on Wisconsin Public Radio recently. He is a faculty member in EPS and also in the Department of History. Please join me in welcoming Adam Nelson.
Thank you, Dean Hess. Good morning, everyone, again. So it is so great to see you all here and to join in this long-awaited celebration. I am so honored to be the person who gets to read the names and tell you about our graduates. We're going to be starting actually with our doctoral degree recipients who are going to come to the stage escorted by their doctoral advisors who will confer the hood that they will receive as a PhD recipient. And as I share a little bit about the tradition of hooding PhD graduates, I'm going to ask that our PhD graduates start to gather on your left side of the stage here so that we can then walk across the stage, receive your hood, have a photograph, and everything works balletically on this stage. And as we receive all of our graduates today, I'd like to ask that our guests remain in your seats, recognizing our graduates until all of them have received their degrees. We promise to keep things on time so that everyone can get to the Cole Center expeditiously. So the tradition of conferring the academic hood has roots in the medieval university. I know a little bit about this because I teach the history of the university since the Middle Ages. And it symbolizes membership in the community of scholars, the sort of universal and enduring community of scholars. It's reserved for those who have attained the highest degree in their fields beyond the bachelor's degree. And the hood denotes the most advanced level of scholarly and professional achievement. It became part of a code of academic dress, regalia, established by American colleges and universities during the 19th century. And this code gives meaning to the colors that you see represented in the dress. So the color of the hood's lining identifies the university that is granting this degree. So I received my degree from Brown University, so I've got a lining that's brown. And if you're a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, your lining is cardinal red. The trim color up here serves as an indication of broadly the academic field associated with the degree. And all of our PhD recipients are recognized for receiving the Doctor of Philosophy degree represented by blue. So with that, I'm going to ask our doctoral graduates to come up, and as I call your name, please come up to the stage with your advisor, and then as you are hooded, you'll receive a photograph, and I will read a brief description of your dissertation. So, we'll begin with our 2 PhD graduates from the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. First, Sarah Lord. So, Sarah's dissertation is about the ways middle school students make sense of fraction, multiplication, and division. She plans to teach going on here in the elementary education program in our Department of Curriculum and Instruction, and her hood is conferred today by her advisor, Professor Percival Matthews. Congratulations, Sarah. Our next graduate is Yilang Zhao. Yilang's dissertation is about the pedagogy of instructing 8th graders in vector addition, employing a concreteness fading framework to scrutinize their learning during that intervention. He's currently turning his dissertation into multiple publications while he interviews for professorships in both learning sciences and educational data sciences. And his academic hood is conferred today by Professor Matthew Burland. So this concludes our graduates from the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. Now from the Department of Educational Leadership and Policy Analysis, our first graduate is Lori Burgos. Lori's dissertation focused on the equity leadership practices of district-level dual language program leaders in a Midwestern state, and the organizational forces that either support or oppose those practices. At present, she serves as the proud superintendent of the Shorewood School District in southeastern Wisconsin. Her academic hood is conferred by her advisor and mentor, clinical professor Barbara Stramek. Our next graduate is Victoria Ubatusen. Victoria's dissertation is on the impact of social media use to maintain social and emotional competence among African international students as they navigate the American higher education landscape. She hopes to turn her dissertation into a book, and she is currently an implementation specialist for a project at the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. Her academic hood is bestowed by her advisor, Professor Rich Halverson. Our next graduate is Tiara Porter Beal. Tiara's dissertation focused on the department-level experiences of women of color who are professors in higher education STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and how these department-level experiences shape their retention on the faculty. After graduation, Tiara will be a research scientist in the Center on Equity Research at the University of Chicago. Her hood is conferred today by her advisor, Professor Shuli Wong. Our next graduate is Corey Monty Roseth. Corey's dissertation focuses on the experiences of educators in a rural district who are working to make their schools better for LGBTQ+ students. He's currently preparing selections from his dissertation for publication as he searches for academic positions in the Twin Cities area. His hood is bestowed by his advisor, Professor Rich Halverson. So this concludes the conferral of degrees from the Department of Educational Leadership and Policy Analysis. And now, from the Department of Educational Policy Studies, we have a graduate approaching the stage alone. More on that in a moment. Eric's dissertation is an intellectual biography, the first, of the 20th century moral psychologist and educator Lawrence Kohlberg. Eric is the recipient of both the Michael W. Apple Dissertation Fellowship and the Lawrence A. Weinstein Distinguished Graduate Fellowship, and his research has already appeared in such journals as the Journal of the History of Behavioral Sciences, Theory and Research in Education, and Pedagogica Historica. This fall, Eric already began his new job as an assistant professor of educational foundations at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. And guess what? I have the immense pleasure of conferring Eric's hood, which I see is already placed over his head. Finally, from the Department of Educational Psychology, our first PhD recipient is Hannah Rapp. Hannah's dissertation explores how parents of bullied adolescents with developmental disabilities also experience victimization around this bullying. After graduation, Hannah will take up a postdoctoral position with the Alberti Center for Bullying Abuse Prevention at the State University of New York, Buffalo. Her doctoral hood is conferred today by Professor Dan Bolt. Our next graduate is Marva Saruch. Marva's dissertation focused on improving the validity and fairness of educational and psychological assessments by developing statistical methods to mitigate cheating and detect unusual response behavior in large-scale, high-stakes assessments. She is now a psychometrician in the Research and Psychometrics Division at the College Board, conducting research and operational development work for improving College Board assessments. She hopes to clear a path for all students to own their future. Her hood is bestowed by her advisor, Professor Jim Wallach. Our next graduate is Jia Wang Xu. Jia He's dissertation is about implementing a forgiveness education program, a social-emotional educational curriculum that teaches children about forgiveness and resolving anger among fifth graders in 3 culturally distinct areas: Northern Ireland, Israel, and Taiwan. She's currently an assistant professor in psychology with a focus on child development at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Her doctoral hood is conferred today by Professor Dan Bolt. Please join me in congratulating all of our doctoral degree recipients. So we're going to take a brief pause now while I ask our master's degree recipients to rise and gather at your left side of the room. And as they do so, please feel free to revel in the accomplishments of our PhD graduates and all the amazing work they did to write those dissertations. It's almost as much of an accomplishment to distill that into 2 sentences as to write the 300 pages it was in the original. So as our master's degree graduates arrive on this side of the room, I'm just going to go over the procedure. Just simply hand me the card that you're carrying, that you received when you checked in today. And then when you step onto the stage, I will read your name. Dean Hess will be waiting to congratulate you, and Sarah will be ready to take your photograph and then descend the stage to the right. So we'll begin with our master's degree recipients. Yi-Wen Ai. Brooke Pierce. Haley Rogers. Olivia Christine Lemke. Lena Lee. Priscilla Tovar Perez. Amani DeHolton. Jingyu Hao. Junzhao Wang. Mary Kate Ontaneda Patello. Jing Gi. Lexi Westley. Kelly Kurale Yaskendirova. Emily Wicker. Annie Stanton. Laurel Cutright. Catherine Sandoval. Calvin Woodring. Please join me again in congratulating all the recipients of our master's degree. Now we'll take another brief moment while I ask the graduates who are receiving the bachelor's degree to gather on your left side of the room. And we'll basically follow the same procedure as you come onto the stage. Hand me the card that you received when you checked in. I'll read your name. Dean Hess will be waiting to congratulate you, and your photograph will be taken. We have some people who are very excited about all of the graduates who have already received their degrees, expressing tremendous enthusiasm. I'm sure reviewing the dissertations they heard about and getting ready for our bachelor's degree recipients. Go ahead and start. Thank you very much. Xinhuan Wu. Anna Janke. Shijia Liao. Sydney Stark. Paula Sanchez. Anna Giardo. Mason Toft. Madison Delabec. Zoe Zuliger. Maria Annen. Wenxuan Chen. Menyuan Hao. Yijia Jason Jung. Please join me in congratulating all our graduates, including the graduates who received the bachelor's degree. Now I'd like to turn the podium back to our Dean, Diana Hess.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Adam. And once again, I want to add my very sincere congratulations to all of you. We will be going over to the Cole Center, and you've got plenty of time to get there. Before we leave, I just want to say two quick things. One is we really want to keep in touch with you. Let us know how you're doing. If there's anything we can ever do to be helpful, please let us know that as well. You know, we often hear the expression, "on Wisconsin." In the School of Education, we've changed that expression because of the extraordinary work that you have done and staff and faculty have done. So what I'd like to do right now is very quickly ask all of you to join me in thanking our extraordinary staff and faculty. If all faculty and staff could stand up, we'd like to thank you. So because of all of you, because of our fabulous staff and faculty, we don't say "on Wisconsin" in the School of Ed. Instead, we say "on it, Wisconsin." Have a great day.